Also today, you can start saving and planning for some spring home improvement. Right now, there's inspiration galore at the Johnson County Home and Garden Show. That's where we find 41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield with more on some ideas so we could spruce up our home come spring. Good morning.
Good morning. We are with the diva of DIY, Leanne Lee. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about what some people who come down here today might be doing.
Okay, well, we have a completely free DIY station, and it's just a way for people to get an introduction into some DIY projects. So what I think is always important when we're doing DIY is start small or start easy. You don't need a whole arsenal of tools to get started. So we're making, this is one of the projects, it is a serving tray made from a cabinet door. So you don't have to go and cut a piece of wood. We're gonna have things that are already readily available to make something. So this is a finished product. This is a cabinet door. This had hardware on it. All we did was fill the holes. I'm going to tell everybody how to do that. We sanded the door, and then we're treating it almost like a new cabinet door. So here's one. We've started with one coat of paint on this one. This is this style. Coming over here, this is another cabinet door. You see it had a knob here. We pulled it, the magic of TV, we pulled it off. We filled that hole. And then if you see this one, we painted it and then put a little glaze on it. The thing is you can do anything to it once you get it, to the stage that you want. And then it's just, I picked up the hardware at the same place I picked up the cabinet door, just a Restore, Habitat for Humanity. Put some hardware on there, and now you've got a beautiful serving tray.
So simple, so easy, beautiful, and again, all free today.
All free today. Come down, we're doing 4 projects: scrap wood lanterns, rolling storage ottomans, the serving trays, and picture frames.
And so doors open here at 10 o'clock, but the first project starts at 11.
Yes, 11, 1, 3, and 6.
Come on down. Tickets are $13, $11 online. Before you come down here, we are live in Overland Park this morning. Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.
All right, thanks a lot. Some good tips there. Well, many things are happening this weekend, including the 2020 Western Farm Show. It'll be at the American Royal Complex in the West Bottoms. It's one of the largest farm and ranch shows in the Midwest. It will feature some of the newest technology that hit the farming industry, as well as other exhibits the whole family can enjoy. Starts today at 9. Runs until Sunday. A couple new businesses are opening up shop in Crown Center. Today, streetwear boutique Initial will open up at Crown Center shops. The store specializes in what's known as hyperbeast fashion. It will feature high-end brands including Gucci, Nike, Louis Vuitton, and others. The boutique is on the 2nd floor. Also, you'll find Burnt End Barbecue at Crown Center. That restaurant opened earlier this week. PB&J Restaurants also plans to open a Starbucks across from Burnt End Barbecue in late April. Well, between restaurants, food deliveries, and pickup, it can be confusing to know when and how much to tip. 41 Action News consumer investigator Kat Reed talked with experts to find out when and how much to add to your bill.
The tipping equation is more complicated than ever.
It can be really confusing, especially going from Panera, coffee shops, to a restaurant. Where do you draw the line and not to tip and when to tip?
And how much do you give?
If they take tips, I'll do 20%.
USA Today reports for some people, tipping is reaching a tipping point. Travelers are joining the Do Not Tip movement, saying businesses should just pay their employees a higher wage. Etiquette expert Courtney Fadler doesn't buy it.
If there's any discussion about how it might be going out the door, that it's antiquated, it most certainly is not. The polite thing to do is definitely to tip for the service that people are giving you.
We sat down with her at Rye Plaza, where we also talked with co-owner Megan Gerolds about the do's and don'ts of leaving that extra dollar.
Any sit-down restaurant is always a 20% standard.
Always include wine or cocktails in that 20%. However,
it's completely acceptable etiquette-wise to tip on the pre-tax amount.
If service isn't meeting the 20% threshold, speak up.
And we want to be able to fix it while guests are still here, so that our servers do have the opportunity to hopefully get that 20 or more % gratuity, but also and ultimately have guests leave with a great experience and good food.
If you're ordering to go, the standard is 10%.
Because somebody took the effort and the time to package all of that up for you. Maybe they put in that extra, silverware utensils that you needed in order to have it, on the go.
10% also applies to orders from apps like Uber Eats or Postmates. But if you're dining in at a place like Panera or Chipotle,
know that in a lot of those fast casual where you're doing a lot of the service yourself, there really is not an expectation necessarily to tip in those instances.
Unless someone really goes above and beyond, you can hang on to that dollar. I'm consumer investigator Kat Reed, 41 Action News Today.
Some restaurants in bigger cities have joined the no-tip movement by making their servers salaried employees. The co-owner of Rise says she has talked with her team about that, but they would rather have the opportunity to walk home with tips. But tipping doesn't just stop at the restaurant. It travels with you, too. Here's a list of guidelines for tipping when you're traveling. Bankrite.com says hotel porters who carry your bags should get $2 to $3 per bag. Room service should get about 20% of the meal price if gratuity was not added. Housekeepers should get $2 per day at a budget hotel and $3 to $5 at a luxury hotel. It also says you should pay $2 for towel delivery.
Weather's looking great today. 58 at 4 p.m. 44 at 8 p.m., 42 at midnight. Sunday morning, 38. The day will start dry, but will it end that way? We'll time out the two storm systems we're tracking here coming up.
All right, our big game matchup from last night takes us to the Missouri side, to the Suburban Gold Conference, and the two most precious elements in that conference. First place, Ray Peck. Second place, Lee's Summit West. Ray Peck won the first meeting earlier this month. This one at Tennessee. Lee's Summit West. The Panthers fed the beast early on tonight. Kean Scroggins, too easy inside. The Titans went outside for service. Good ball movement to Luke Jordan, who's got great ball movement in the net. Then it's Lee's Summit West in transition. Josh Butler smooth. Titans up early, but Ray Peck has its own Jordan, who hits threes. Jordan Germain, and this game is off to the races as it continues to rain threes. Elisha Haynes, a little string music there. Ray Peck would have a big second half and pull away to win easily in this one. All right, let's go out to Grandview, where the Bulldogs were taking on Platte County Rack Focus. We're scrambling for the ball early on. Effort leads to buckets. Buckets lead to wins, and it's finally the Pirates' Joey Schultz head faking for two. Grandview's turn. Oh, a little pullback there for Camden Smith. Long two. Let's bring back the long two, shall we? Platte County's Dylan Montez then throwing a laser to Jaden Burnett. Close game early on, then off the steal. Smith finds a wide open Jordan McGee, which rhymes with three. Grandview would win by three, so that was a big bucket there. All right, nail-biting time at Olathe South last night. West visiting. Girls game, 2 minutes left. Michelle Anderson ties the game at 44. It stayed tied at 44 until 5 seconds left. Owls get it to Mackenzie Hart, and that's who they want to have the ball and take the shot. It's a game winner. Hart at the buzzer, beating the buzzer. Olathe West wins dramatically. To the boys game, West trying to build on a lead. Austin Hashagen with the big boy rebound and put back. West by 4. But it's a Marion Johnson cutting the lead to 3 with less than 2 minutes left. Olathe West would make its free throws and hold on to win, sweeping South on this night. Staying in Kansas, Blue Valley Northwest road trip into Blue Valley. That is Alston Mason. Instant offense for Blue Valley Northwest. Huskies up early. Tigers would respond with Dylan Whipperman. Blue Valley hanging around, but more offense starting with Mason, ending though with Ben Fritz, familiar name, Northwest. Blue Valley Northwest takes this one 73-66. And finally, the Battle of Lawrence last night. Free State against the Chesty Lions in Allen Fieldhouse. That's Zeke Mayo beating the buzzer at the end of the first quarter. Lawrence up by 5. Then it's Peyton Mallory in the second half. He's going to spin around everyone 50-42. Lawrence gets the rivalry win. All right, Thursday Morning Sports. Have a great day.
Right now, there are 35 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the U.S. That number went up after we learned 11 patients tested positive for the virus while under quarantine in Omaha. The 11 people were evacuated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan. 2 others were also evacuated but did not test positive for the virus. Right now, the quarantine in Omaha has the largest number of confirmed cases there than anywhere else in the U.S. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, CNBC reports training for Summer Olympic volunteers has been postponed over growing fears of the virus. However, organizers say the delay will not affect other preparations and the games will continue as planned. Currently, there are over 100 cases of the virus in Japan and 2 people have died from it. If you want to learn how to help in the event of a public health emergency, the Church of the Resurrection in Leawood is hosting a training session that's happening today from 8:30 to 12:30. In just a few hours, voters in Nevada will go to the polls and cast their ballots in the third caucus of the presidential primary. Presidential hopefuls made a last-minute push in the state, hoping that the race helps to narrow the field before the South Carolina primary and Super Tuesday. Recent polls show Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders leading the pack.
If we come out in big numbers at 12 o'clock for the Iowa caucus, I think we're going to win here as well.
Look, the good news is the field is narrowing. The better news, you're all taking really closer looks at the other guys now.
Well, meanwhile, President Trump also campaigned in Nevada, holding a rally in Las Vegas. The president hopes to win back the swing state in 2020 after it went blue in the 2016 election.
With your help this November, we're going to defeat the radical socialist Democrats, and we are going to win Nevada in a big, beautiful landslide.
Well, the most recent poll taken for the general election in Nevada shows the top 4 Democrats beating President Trump, with Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg taking the biggest lead with 11 points.
Now, here's Kansas City's most accurate forecast from meteorologist Jeff Penner.
Good Saturday morning outside here in our Borner Home Improvement Skyview Network. Absolutely gorgeous there. The President Hotel there. And it is pretty nice. A little cold right now, 33 degrees. The wind chill upper teens.